Imagine this scenario. You are 78 years old. Your health isn't what it used to be. Your knees ache when it rains, and your eyesight is getting blurry. You check your bank account. You have 1.2 million sitting in your 401k and IRA. That money represents decades of discipline. It's the result of every clipped coupon, every skipped Starbucks run, every staycation instead of a vacation, and every time you said no to yourself. Your kids are grown and gone. Your spouse passed away 3 years ago. And then it hits you. That trip to Italy you desperately wanted to take in your 30s? You can afford the first-class ticket now, but you can't walk. The cobblestone streets of Rome, that camping trip you wanted to take with your kids. When they were 10, that window is closed forever. The business idea you wanted to launch in your 50s, you simply don't have the energy anymore. You have the money, but the expiration date on the experiences that money could have bought has already passed. Your bank account is full, but your life is empty. You won the money game, but you lost the game of life. Does this sound like a nightmare? It's actually the standard American reality. According to the Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances, the median net worth for Americans over 65 is roughly $266,000. But for the disciplined savers, it's much higher. Here's the shocking stat. According to the Employee Benefit Research Institute, nearly half of all retirees die with more assets than they had on the day they retired. Even 20 years into retirement, many still haven't touched 80% of their nest egg. You spend 40 years saving money, only to die without ever turning it back into life. You can't pay the ferryman with a Vanguard account. My name is Dean. I spend way too much time obsessing over why we are so good at saving money and so terrible at actually spending it. If you are working hard and saving diligently, but you have that nagging feeling of, is this all there is? Hit that subscribe button, because today we are going to flip your entire financial worldview upside down. There is a name for this philosophy. It comes from hedge fund manager Bill Perkins and his book, Die with Zero. The core thesis is controversial. The ideal financial state is to bounce your last check to the undertaker. You should aim to die with $0 in your bank account. I know, you're thinking, that's insane. That's irresponsible. We are programmed to hoard. We are taught to fear running out. But hear out the logic. It is mathematically hard to argue with. Money is a tool. A tool only has value when it is used. A hammer that sits in a box for 50 years has zero value. Similarly, money that is left over when you die had zero value to you. You traded your life energy, your time, your stress, your labor to get that money. If you die without converting it back into experiences, you worked for free. You wasted your life energy. This isn't about being reckless. It's about being strategic. It's about optimizing your spending for maximum joy, not maximum accumulation. Why is this so hard for us? Why do millionaires live like paupers? It's not just habit. It's neuroscience. One loss aversion. Nobel laureates Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky proved that the pain of losing $1 is twice as intense as the joy of gaining $1. Your brain treats a declining bank balance like physical pain. Even when you have $2 million and you're 80, spending $5,000 on a vacation feels like loss. Your brain screams, don't do it, you might need it. 2. The bag lady syndrome fear industry. The financial industry sells fear. They profit from your terror of living too long. Fidelity, Vanguard, Suze Orman. They all move the goalposts. You need $1 million. No, wait, inflation. You need $2 million. Actually, make it $3 million just to be safe. According to Northwestern Mutual 2024, the average American now thinks they need $1.46 million to retire comfortably. That number keeps going up because fear sells financial products. 3. Cognitive dissonance. If you spent 40 years identifying as a saver, you cannot flip a switch and become a spender overnight. It attacks your identity. Stanford psychologists found that people resist behaviors that conflict with their self-image. Telling a lifelong saver to spend money is like telling a vegan to eat a steak. It feels morally wrong to them. Now let's do the math. This is my favorite part. Perkins introduces a concept called the memory dividend. Let's say you spend $3,000 on a trip to Europe with your friends when you are 25. That trip is over in 2 weeks. But the memory? You talk about it at weddings. You laugh about it in group chats. You smile when you look at the photos. That $3,000 pays you a dividend of joy every year for the next 55 years until you are 80. Now let's say you wait. You invest that $3,000 in the S&P 500. At 7% returns, by age 65, that money has grown to roughly $45,000. Great ROI, right? But if you take that trip at 65, the experience is different. You can't stay in the hostels. You can't party all night. And most importantly, you only get a memory dividend for 15 years, not 55. And here's the brutal biological truth. Your ability to convert money into enjoyment declines with age. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, spending naturally drops as people age. Households aged 55-64 spend way more than households aged 75. Why? Because at 75, you don't want to travel the world. You want to be comfortable. You physically cannot do the things you save the money for. Scuba diving is not a plan for your 80s. It's a fantasy. You are richest when you are least able to use the money, and you are poorest when you are most able to enjoy it. This timing mismatch is the biggest design flaw in modern personal finance. Let's look at two avatars. Sarah, 35, software engineer, makes $130K. She follows the traditional advice perfectly. Maxes out 401K, maxes out HSA, saves 30% of her net income. She takes budget vacations. She tells her kids, maybe next year for Disney World. She is waiting for financial independence. Mike, 35, marketing manager, makes $110K. He earns less than Sarah. He saves 15% responsible, but not extreme. But Mike takes the family to national parks every summer. He goes to concerts. He buys the good tickets. 30 years later, at age 65, Sarah has a portfolio of $2.5 million. Mike has a portfolio of $1.2 million. On a spreadsheet, Sarah won. But look at the other ledger, the life ledger. Mike's kids talk endlessly about the camping trip, where the tent blew away. They have a bond cemented by shared experiences. Mike has 30 years of memory dividends. Sarah's kids, well, they remember mom always being stressed about the budget. They remember hearing later, Sarah has $2.5 million, but her knees are bad. Her kids are busy adults, and she has no practice in enjoying life. She has the money, but she missed the window to buy the memories. Let's be real about what this feels like. It's the feeling when your 8-year-old asks to go to Disney, and you say, it's too expensive right now. Let's wait until you're older. You wait 5 years. Now they are 13. They are too cool for Mickey Mouse. That window didn't just close. It slammed shut. You can spend $10,000 on Disney now, but you cannot buy the wonder of an 8-year-old. That is gone. It's the butterfly effect of procrastination. One, I'll do it later in your 30s, becomes a wave of regret in your 70s, and no amount of compound interest can buy back your youth. So who benefits from you hoarding your cash? Follow the money. Assets under management, AUM. Financial advisors charge a % of your portfolio. If you spend your money, their fee goes down. They have a financial incentive to keep you terrified, so you keep your money parked with them. The mutual fund industry collects billions in fees annually from money that sits stagnant in retiree accounts. Insurance companies. What is the business model of an annuity? It's betting that you will die before they have to pay it all back. Your fear is their profit margin. When you act financially conservative, you aren't just being smart. You are often behaving exactly how the banking algorithm wants you to behave. Work hard, deposit everything, die, and leave the fees to us. I know the objections. I can hear them already. Dean, what if I live to 100? I don't want to be destitute at 95. Valid. But look at the data. The CDC says average life expectancy is around 76, 78. Yes, plan for longevity, but don't sacrifice your 30s, 40s, and 50s, your prime health years, for the possibility of needing extra cash at 98. Buy longevity insurance and annuity to cover the living too long risk. Don't hoard everything for it. I want to leave money for my kids. Perkins has a great counter to this. If you die at 85, your kids are likely 55 or 60. Do they need your money at 60? No. They are thinking about their own retirement. When did they need the money? When they were 30. When they were buying a house. When they were starting a family. If you want to help your kids, give it to them with a warm hand, not a cold hand. Give it to them when it actually changes the trajectory of their lives. So how do we fix this? Here are 3 strategies to optimize your life, not just your portfolio. Strategy 1, the experience expiration map. Get a piece of paper. Write down every experience you want to have. Backpacking Europe, skiing in the Alps, taking the grandkids to Disney. Now write the physical expiration date next to them. Skiing, maybe 60. Backpacking, maybe 40 unless you like back pain. When you see the deadlines, later becomes terrifying. Prioritize the experiences that have the earliest expiration dates. Do them now. Strategy 2, the consumption curve. Stop thinking in a straight line, save, retire, spend. Think in a curve. 20s high experience ROI. Save a little, but invest heavily in travel and skills. 30s, 40s peak family years. The window for family memories is short. Spend here. 50s peak net worth. Start decumulating spending down. This is your last high-energy decade. 60s slow down. You naturally spend less. Stop hoarding for a lifestyle you physically cannot live. Strategy 3. The living legacy. Don't leave a big inheritance. Give it now. Help your kid with a down payment at 30. That $50,000 is worth infinitely more to them now than $500,000 will be when they are 60. Plus, you get to see them enjoy it. You get to visit the house. That is the real return on investment. Let's wrap this up. We spend our whole lives trading time for money, but most of us are too scared to make the trade back, money for time. So we end up with a surplus of numbers on a screen and a deficit of memories. The wealthiest place on earth is not New York or Dubai. It is the graveyard. It is full of unwritten books, unlaunched businesses, and unspent millions that were saved for a rainy day that never came. Here is your homework. Make your experience expiration map. And then, do one thing this month that you were saving for someday. Book the trip. Buy the concert tickets. Because money replenishes. Time does not. If this video made you rethink your savings account, hit like and subscribe. And send this to someone who is always saving for a later that might never happen. Thanks for watching. Go spend some money.